Hello children, how do you do? Welcome to online class. This is Somaya Dorepalli, School Assistant English, ZPHS Nilayagudem, Mandal Tripuram, District Nalgunda. Today I would like to deal with 7th class, unit number 3, sea reading. Children, do you like stories? Oh, very nice. I too like stories very much. Today I have an interesting story for you. So, are you ready to listen to that story? Okay. Listen attentively. Later, we have some questions and we have to answer them. This is a story of China. Let's get into the story. Let's turn to page number 54 in our textbooks. See reading The Magic of Silk. This is a story from China. A long, long time ago, there lived an old woman in a hut in the forest. Her husband had been killed by a tiger some years ago. She was old and weak. Life was difficult for her and her daughter Shumei. So, this is a story of China. This is a story from China. A long, long time ago, it means so many years back, there was an old woman in a forest, and her husband was killed by a tiger in that forest. That's why she and her daughter alone living in the forest. Her daughter name is Shumei. Shumei did all the cooking and cleaning herself. She also looked after the silkworms in their garden. The worms gave them fine thread to make beautiful silk. Shumei sold the silk to travelers in the village market. In this way, she got enough money to buy food and other things. So, the old woman's daughter, Shumei, did all the cooking and cleaning herself. She also looked after the silkworms which they are feeding in their garden. So the worms gave them fine thread to make beautiful silk. In this way, they are making a living with that silk. One day, as Shume was returning home, it started to rain heavily. It was getting dark too. Shume ran into the first hut she saw in the forest. The door was open and there was no one inside. So one day when Shume was returning home from the village market, it was raining heavily and she could not know what to do. Then immediately she ran into the first hut she saw, and there was no one inside that hut. Is anybody in? She called loudly again and again, but there was no reply. Shume looked around the hut. The floor was very dirty, bowls and pots were left unwashed. Shume swept the bowls and pots. You can see in the picture. Shume. By the time she had finished it, the hut was as clean as a new one. By then the rain had stopped too. I had better go home, she said to herself. Mother will be worried. As she walked out of the hut, she saw a strange old man. His long beard reached down to his waist. He looked about 100 years old. The old man looked at Shume and smiled. So when she cleaned the floor of that hut, and when she was coming out of that hut, an old man appeared. So he was about 100 years old. Then Shume said, Uncle, she said, I went into the hut because it was raining. I hope you don't mind. Not at all, young girl, replied the old man. His eyes fell on the clean floor and on the bowls and pots. Did you clean the hut for me? Yes, answered Shume. Let me help you into the hut. The old man was very happy. You are a very kind girl, he said. I must give you a present. He took out a pair of scissors and cut off a little of his long white beard. He put it in a piece of old cloth, tied it up, and gave the bundle to her. Do not give it to anyone, said the old man. Open it when you get home. Shume thanked him and went home. Her mother was very glad to see Shume safe. because it's not safe going out alone, especially girls. Shume told her mother about the old man. Shume opened the bundle to show her mother uh, the old man's white beard. To their surprise, there is the finest silk thread in the whole of China. They began to weave with the silk thread. When they had finished weaving, they had made the finest silk they had ever seen. They noticed that the bundle of silk thread still remained exactly the same size as before. So, children, what happened? So that young girl brought the hairs of that man, beard of that man, and when she opened that beard, they could find some fine silk threads. So those are fine silk thread in the whole of China. So they began to weave with the silk thread. When they had finished weaving, they had made the finest silk they had ever seen in China. They noticed that the bundle of silk thread still remained exactly the same size as before. So how amazing it is! It's like magic silk. News of their wonderful silk spread far and wide. The old woman and her daughter became famous, and they lived happily ever after because of that beautiful silk. Dear children, now answer the following questions. Who do you think the old man is? Justify your reasons. Do you believe in miracles? Are magic and miracle same? Give your reasons. If you were Shume, how would you feel? Whatever good we give out comes back to us. Do you believe in this? Give reasons. In this story, the middle aged man was king. Think of a few reasons why it might not safe for a little girl going to a stranger's house alone. Yes, very good. We should not go out alone, especially girls, because days are not good. If we go out, we don't know uh, about the persons who are around us. That's why, dear children, we should be very careful. Even even with our relation, because we don't know the behavior of such persons. Okay, children, I hope you have understood this story. Do you like it? Yes, I too liked this story very much. The magic of silk. Thank you very much for watching. We will meet in the next class. Thank you.